Go. Do you like that? How it just says go?
It's
It used to do 3, 2, 1. Now it does 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But it's sneaky because when I hit record on this thing, it actually there'll be a few seconds before. So thank God I'm such a good editor. By the way, Dave, welcome to the world of not bothering to go back to edit, motherfucker. Give me shit for fucking 15 years. You're sitting there trying to find something on your podcast. I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh, I'll edit this later.
Yeah. I don't edit shit. The original podcast.
I know, but I'm saying people.
Yeah. The original podcast I had was called OCR Unedited. So because I didn't want to edit anything.
That's right. I think I found that once. But yeah, it's not easy, is it? It's not easy just hosting a show and
working
finding
12.5-hour shifts. Do you know how little editing I normally do?
Right. I'm just pointing out to everybody that it's not easy. That's all.
Matt does way more editing than me. Way more. I clip the front.
I appreciate that.
I clip the front and I clip the back, and that's it. That's all I do. Normally. Unless
You're totally
something
cutting
really
out.
goes wrong.
You're totally cutting out. Why are you cutting out?
He's not cutting out for me.
I'm on a roll.
Screw you both. All right, listen, there's a lot to get to. But first, before we get to the other stuff we're going to get to in the Not So Live show, special guest coming in live, NYC, talking about Peak 500. He's back from a shoebox. Looks like he's in the bottom of a shoebox. It's Matt Kemp, everybody.
The closest to the Bracken wall I can get is
nice.
My coworkers at the gym's shoes.
I thought you moved into an RV. Those cabinets look like an RV to me.
A little like office kitchen at one of the gyms I work at.
So Matt Kemp is here. He's sweaty. He did Peak 500, the greatest, latest, new. I didn't want to call it a fitness race because it's more of a test. There's a little bit of running, but
no running.
We can't really call it a fitness. Well, you did a little shuttle run, right?
Oh, that's true. Yes, there was a shuttle.
How do I know this better than you?
Does there need to be running for it to be a race?
Oh, that's a good debate.
Well, Dave, this definitely fits in your definition of functional fitness or of fitness racing, but feels closer to a test to me. Cheryl, what do you think?
I think if you're trying to do something faster than other people, it's a race.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That's a mic drop. She pretty much nailed it there. Here's a question over here.
Should we add that to your definition, Dave?
No. No need. But was there breaks in between the zones?
1 minute. No. It's like 1 minute transition. But it's like the clock. The interesting thing is the clock runs just like all day. Usually like there's a reset for each class that gives you like an intro. But since you can't have everyone start at the same time on the bikes, it's just basically a 5 minute timer and a 1 minute timer, and it just runs the whole day until class, from first class till the end of the day. So like you basically like I was in the 11:15 class, but I think I started at 11:25. So I was a little like a few minutes off, which I actually wanted to be because I got there like 11. I was like I need some time to warm up or whatnot. And the interesting thing was like some people just kind of come into a Saturday F45 class and they were like, I'm just here for class. And they don't know, people just sign up for things and don't know. They just kind of think it's a big class. And they had a good time, and people seem to find it interesting to have the metrics and like a scorecard.
I'm going to deem this not a race, but a multi-stage competition. Reason being, it is essentially an AMRAP.
Yeah,
but that's what everybody says about HYROX. It's just a WOD.
No. So there's different, right? So HYROX is just like Cheryl said. It is a race to the finish line.
Okay.
F45 Peak 500 is 5 AMRAPs. You have a certain amount of time to attain as many reps as you can in that time limit. So it's not really a race. It's a competitive AMRAP. So therefore, it's a multi-stage fitness competition.
Would ATHX also fall into that category?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes one of those is even though it's not timed, the first one is usually a 1 or a 3 or a 5.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not timing it. You just have to do it in that time. So it's slightly different, right?
For ATHX?
Yeah. If the first station is about a rep max, you're not doing as many as possible. You're only doing the amount they allow you to do.
Yeah. So that's why it's a multi-stage fitness competition. You could argue that the Metcon on the end would be a hybrid race because there's cardio, there's lifting, so that one section, but the entire thing together is a multi-stage fitness competition.
I think you should launch yet another podcast, Dave.
Of just random definitions.
We just spend a week and we just go through, because I like how you think, Dave. I like how you think.
Ask me what shit means and I'll make something up.
Okay, great. So listen, I pulled this up for the YouTube
I'm
watchers, and I'm going to just briefly mention them, and then you can go into the number of reps if you remember, Matt. And if not, I'll pull it up. And he put his score right there. So first things first, there is a maximum score of 500. Okay?
Can we guess his score before he posts it?
It's already up, but it's in his email signature. Hold your hand over his name.
But I meant per station.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So station 1. No, I'll just read it as we go. Station 1, bike erg. What kind of bike?
This is like the erg, like Concept 2 bike.
Concept 2 bike.
Yeah.
Does F45 have their own brand, or is it Concept 2?
It's Concept 2.
Okay. Individual format, focus on your pacing, and you still have 4 stations remaining. Oh, there's a paired format where you can go, I go, you go. But it doesn't, and it's in what, 10 minutes? What's the distance?
So 5 minutes, as many calories as you can get.
Many cows as you can get.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess his score.
Cheryl, you want to go first on that one?
No.
Damn you, Cheryl. All right, I'm going to go 5 minutes. 72.
I think he got closer to 100 on that one. I'll say 80.
I think I looked at it and he got like a 98.
Yeah, I thought it was
You
close
got
to
a
100.
98?
What did you get, Matt?
I got 100 with 10
Oh. I was going to say 100, but it seemed wrong. Good job.
That was the one where I was like most confident I can get to 100. And then you can, when you finish, if you finish under the time, you put your time in there. And this is a clarifying point that we actually discussed with some of the coaches there, is that the time bonus, like you get a time bonus, but it's really only a tiebreaker because the time only counts if you get a 500.
Yeah.
If you get like under a 500, the time is pointless. It's like it's just extra rest. You get I got an extra 10 seconds of rest basically.
All right.
The next day.
All right. Station 2. Everybody's favorite, the devil press.
Love me devil presses.
Yeah.
We've got 8 of those into 12 dumbbell suitcase forward lunges.
Yeah. So yeah.
For the lunges, the back knee must touch the floor at the same time. As what?
No, that's for the synchro. So this is for
Sorry.
pairs.
Yeah, sorry. I keep reading the wrong thing.
So yeah, for doubles, for solo, your regular 8. So the men's weight is 28-pound dumbbells. Women's weight is 18-pound dumbbells.
So this is obviously a kilogram thing.
Yes, everything at F45 is kilograms or Australian based. So
yeah,
okay. That's a common complaint from members. It's like, why do we have these weird numbers?
Okay, so 28 P is what? 50 kg?
No,
12 kg. What?
Yeah, it's I think it's 12.5 kg.
It's 28 pounds.
Yeah,
we do in fact have an international audience, so I like to help them when I can.
12.5 kg, 28 pounds. Yeah.
Okay, and then what's
18? So I think that's 8 kilograms.
And is it again 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minute time, and you have to do it in order. You have to do the 8 burpees, then the 12 lunges, 8 burpees, 12 or 8 devil's presses, 12 lunges. And
all you have to do is finish that in 5 minutes?
That's all. Yeah, that's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do, Matt.
Well, I think Cheryl, I think you could get 100 in this, Cheryl, wouldn't you?
I'm trying to wrap my head around the dumbbell weight. I think it might start wearing on me, especially after doing that bike.
I think it would feel very similar to Deca Ram burpees.
Yeah.
As far as pacing and stuff. Like that would be a similar weight class, right?
So 12.
It's just the interesting, I don't know, why 8 and 12? Why not 5 and 15? Or why not 10 and 12? I don't know. It seems like a weird domain.
It's 20 reps per minute, right?
Yeah, I guess that's the target. It was like if you could do your 8 devil's presses in say 40 seconds, you can do your 12 lunges in 20 seconds, and that's your minute.
Yeah, like you could EMOM it, right? If you wanted to.
Yeah, 8 and 12. That is an interesting number, but I think 10 and
20 reps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got, I don't remember what you got in this one, so I can't cheat.
I'm going to go with 93.
No, I'm going to go like 75.
Matt?
You know what I got? This? No. I got. Oh. So you're going to guess or no?
No, because I'm pulling it up. You tell him, damn it.
Oh, 67.
Oh, man. What happened? So you went too hard on that goddamn bike, Matt.
Went a little too hard on the bike, and I'm terrible at burpees. So I just knew that going into it.
You're tall too, right?
Yeah, I'm like 6'2", 6'3", yeah. So like, I just knew. So my goal was to get through 4 rounds, and I got to like, I started the 4th round of burpees. I started the 4th round of burpees with like 40 seconds or 50 seconds left, and I was like, if I can just finish these burpees, I can knock out like the lunges are easy reps, right? Like you can knock those out pretty quick. And I think I got to like I had like 2 burpees to go with 10 seconds, or like 3 burpees to go with 10 seconds left. So I was like, all right, like I got the last 2 burpees out, and I ended up 1 short. So that was a bit. Can you hear that fan?
Yeah, I think it was the subway.
Hold on 1 second. I'll mute for a second.
All right. Well, he's doing that. Cheryl, how many could you get out? What do you think you could do?
Yeah, you know what? I'm terrible at burpees too, and so I think that I'd probably be pretty low on this one. You know, if I could get 60, like I'd probably set a goal of 60 and then be really happy with anything over 60.
You got to do this, Dave. Is Tuesday your any day anything can happen day, or is that
Saturday? I was invited to do this actually at F45 Dune, and they hold a lot of HYROX comps and stuff around me. But sadly, I've been working like a madman lately. I was supposed to do it on Friday.
All right, you got to do it Saturday.
Didn't get a chance.
See what you get.
Yeah.
And
I'm thinking on that though. That's zone there. I'll crush that zone.
That's your zone.
That's me. I'm walking away. I'm crack ready. I'm gonna go crack 90 on that zone.
All right. Next one. Ski erg weight damper any 100 cals. What do you guys think Matt got?
He pulled off 100 on the bike, but he did gas himself. I'm gonna go back into the 70s. I'm gonna go 75.
I'm gonna say 80.
You're gonna say what, Cheryl?
80.
82.
Oh, 82. Okay.
82.
Yeah.
I completely underestimate Matt is on his ergs.
Does this sound better? Do you hear the?
It's fine.
Still?
It's all right.
Fine. All right. So now, how are you feeling? You know you've got 2 left. How are you feeling, like body wise, heading into the shuttle? Did they need to say sprint and they said springs, or do they call them shuttle springs because it's an F45 thing?
It says sprints here from what I see.
It 100% says springs.
Oh,
that is
maybe that's an Australian thing.
That's the physical card. Is the G next to the T? The G is below the T.
That was probably locally printed. It might be probably a local typo. Yeah, so the G is just below the T on the keyboard. So
that's what I just said.
So yeah, so each time down counts as a run. I did not. I mean, I won't give away what I did, but I know I'm not.
I just want to know how you were feeling. Like you get off that erg and you got your minute rest and you're like, okay, I got 2 left. How am I feeling?
I kind of paced the ski erg a little bit more because I kind of told myself, like, is it worth hammering the ski erg for the extra 10, 15 cals or trying to save a little bit more for the thrusters? And so I kind of felt pretty gassed. I also did kind of came into a little more sore, so I didn't feel great, but I was like, okay, I got a minute to rest and I'm not going to gas the run. So I was thinking, let me pace this and see if I can catch a second wind. That's kind of how I was feeling. Still feeling decent though, not bad.
So it says 300 meters total. So you're going down and back is 30 or down and back is 15?
Down and back is 30. So you're touching 20 times. Yeah.
Plus the 80 barbell thrusters. And it's 55 pounds or 25 kg for men. It's 33 pounds and 15 kg for women. The target is 20 and 80, right? This was Matt's worst station. What do we think he got?
So, quick note also, 61 pounds is 25 is what it came out to. I know that's what they had at my gym set up. So I was like, I'm just going to run with it. So
they effed you. The head of your gym effed you because they didn't know how to convert properly?
Well, I think 25 kg comes out to.
I'm just going with what this says.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know if that's right.
25 kg, 2.2.
So it's 55.
No, it's 60.
Yeah, 55.
Oh, okay. So yeah, dude's screwed. All right.
All right. Well, so then I'm going to change. Then I'm going to adjust your score. But for his lowest score, what do you think he got? team. Cheryl, you go first.
Well, okay. So you have to get all the shuttle runs done and then you do the thrusters.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you probably maybe got 10 thrusters in.
No. We got more than that.
Dave.
Well, I mean, you're thinking 300-meter run, right?
Yeah, 300 meters. Like that's going to take a minute with those tight turns. I don't know.
300-meter run, tight turns back and forth. Maybe 2-3 minutes in that realm. And then that gives them 2 minutes to do thrusters. You're going to do thrusters at about the same rate you do the wall balls, right? Let's say 15 to 20 a minute. Not? Why not? That's the same.
55-pound thrusters is not the same as doing wall balls.
No, it is for me.
Yes, that is the problem.
I've seen you throw some wall balls, Dave. You weren't throwing them that fast.
Exactly. My wall balls are terrible. It's because I got to aim at something. There's a target. I'm no good at that. But if you just give me a 55-pound barbell, I'm just doing squats.
So like if we were going out in the backyard to pee, you can go pretty quickly. But if I put a bucket out there and said, hit this, then it would be a lot longer.
Well, there'd be more stuff not in the bucket. How big of a bucket are we talking?
All right. What's your guess?
This is a non-specific bucket.
What's your guess?
I'm giving Matt more credit on this one. I'm saying 3. I'm going to think he gets through 40 thrusters.
His total score, 51.
So
but
31.
But
35 thrusters?
31 thrusters.
That was still my best guess yet.
It's very good.
I would
But
say,
now
though,
we
I would say
finish-
the runs took me a lot longer than I expected. Just like the
yeah, you
concept
can't really
of
get
the
any
start.
speed going. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
short. I posted the
it's
video.
like-
It's very short.
Yeah, 15
So
meters
like-
is not a long run.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, I thought in my head, I was like, oh, 300 meters, like, okay, I'm not going to do it in a minute with the tight turns. That'd be like a pretty fast minute anyway, on like a regular track or whatever. I was like, okay, maybe like a minute 40 to 2 minutes. And it took me at least 2:10, maybe. I can't really remember now. I remember getting to the thrusters. Oh, there we go. Nice. Getting to the thrusters and being like, all right, now I just got to try to string together some. And I was just like, I don't know. I just couldn't get a real good rhythm going until and then time was up. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to save it for the row. So I was thinking like, I can knock out another 5 thrusters here, or I can just try to hammer the row for all I have left.
Yeah.
Question:
I chose that as my strength.
What's the farmers in Deca Gym events typically?
The weight? Or the distance?
No, the distance. I'm trying to
10
imagine.
10
10
meters.
meters, just down and back 5 times. Yeah.
And so this is how many meters?
This is 15 meters. Down
Yeah,
and
so
back
real
10 times. Yeah.
short. Hard to get going. All right. But now we got the row, and all we got to do is get to 100 calories.
Full ham.
Full ham, any damper. What do we think Matt did?
Oh, I think you got 100 on this one.
Dave?
Well, I've underestimated him on every other erg so far. So I'm not going to say 100. I'm going to say 95.
Ooh, 96.
Ooh.
There you go.
For a grand
Still
total of
under-
396. Now, can we see
Still
you
underestimating him.
can we see you on the big leaderboard, like to see where you are?
Probably. I submitted it on the app sometime this weekend, so there should be on a big. If there is a leaderboard out there, then yes, I hope so. But while you're finding that, I'll give some like context. Also, like the row. The funny thing is, I was like, my goal going into the day was like, all right, let me be realistic. Like I'm about what I can do here. I'm not going to be a 500 per whatever. I was like, if I can get to like 400, I think would be a solid goal for me.
Oh,
This
so
guy
close,
did 500
dude.
plus 5 minutes, apparently. Okay, I don't believe that. But
Australian.
Well, first of all, can we give a shout out to Lars from F45 Calgary and Bertrand from F45 Woolalamoo
Lars, I
And
demand
now-
a video.
and Mal from F45 Toowoomba West?
Yeah, but I'm with Matt here, okay? Lars up here. We got one perfect score on everything, and
I
then
believe the second
exactly
guy.
5 minutes short. So exactly 1 minute short on every one of them.
You want to
So
see
maybe
you want to
see
see the
the
video
I want-
on that, Dave?
I want this video.
It could also be like, honestly, I think some people didn't know how to, like, if you do it in the app and it's a little like, you might click it incorrectly and just hit next, and that might be what happens. So could have been a user
And
This
Sure.
is like this is like
AC, I
people
know that.
uploading their Murph scores, you know.
Yes, I'm already going through that. Cheryl, I'm thinking in my head.
I want to sort it by US because I think you're doing pretty good. Most of these are other countries. So first,
I
you're
think
probably
Matt's
crushing it.
spectacular.
Yeah, and I definitely imagine some wonky scores, right?
So like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'll say what was the other part of it? So yeah, that time doesn't matter unless you get the full 500. You get to my goal was 400. So I was trying to do the math between stations 4 and 5, but you only have a minute, and I'm like trying to get the thing set up and whatever, and looking at the card, trying to do math in my head, and I'm like, I think I'm close. I didn't realize I was exactly 300 and needed exactly 100 to get to to get 400. So I got 96 and ended at 396, which was a little disappointing.
All right, I'm gonna stop scrolling. This is too annoying.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that's a good score, man. I would aim for a similar target too.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, I didn't really I did a HYROX workout on Thursday. I think I did done on Friday. You know, I wasn't really didn't take any taper for it kind of thing. So I feel like if I did, I'd be happy to. Then I would hope for like a 420 or something. You know, I think I could get like a little bit higher. But I will say the workout. The one thing I liked about it is, I feel like a lot of us have done like a HYROX strong type workout, like a DECA strong version of a HYROX where you just do the stations back to back, and this is similar. And I think it kind of really I will say I know my weakest stations are burpees and wall balls, right? And I think the thruster and burpees here were definitely like my weakest, and it kind of just exacerbates the difference between what your strengths are and what aren't, and it kind of is like a good little that's why I guess you could call it a race or a test workout, whatever you want to call it. But it is a good sampler of kind of points out what you really need to work on pretty quickly. Like you could do 30 minutes and then look at a scorecard and say, hey, I need to work on this, right? Only one I would say maybe doesn't really expel is the lunges are pretty quick and in and out, so you're not really going to notice those as much. I feel like they're an afterthought because they're with the burpees a little bit. But everything else I thought was kind of gets all the HYROX movements in there, points them out to you.
Well, so this is what's interesting is that F45 is a big HYROX affiliate, right? Like they've gone all in. Is your radio on, Kemp?
No, I'm just in the gym and there's music.
Oh, that's right. I was like,
I'll mute when I'm not talking. Yeah.
I was like, is my radio on? And so they've decided we're going to go on in this. Like I said, sometimes they're actually the sponsor for a local one. I think even in Australia, they might have been for Melbourne or Sydney or one of them.
They were a sponsor for DC too. Yeah.
I think they were a sponsor. Nope. Sorry. Good Life was a sponsor for Toronto. Sorry.
No, the second time they were F45. The first time was Good Life.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, so then they think, well, let's do our own internal competition, but we're only going to do it a couple of times a year. And apparently Lifetime has done this too. People that are talking about LT games are like, oh, they had something called whatever it was called, Alpha or Explosion or whatever. Like people love a leaderboard, and the idea of fitness racing is a thing now. And so, from my understanding, the way F45 works, everyone in the world does the same workout on the same day, right? And it's just they're called different things. Explosion, Fart Face, or whatever they're called, right?
They do have some quirky names for the workouts, but yeah, whatever workout it is, that Tuesday, everyone in the world can do. And they started giving gyms some flexibility to flip-flop the strength and cardio days because in the city, there's so many so close together that some people want to do they missed a strength day, they'll do the strength day, whatever. So in general, yes.
Right. But they haven't said, okay, this was the first one and the next one's going to be in 3 months or 6 months. We didn't even get a massive announcement for this, did we? When we had a couple weeks lead time?
I don't think so. I think the next one is in September, is what I was told.
I heard about it maybe 2 weeks before.
Yeah. So as part of the fitness racing, what did you call it? Multi-syllabic. What did you call it, Dave?
Yeah, that's good. Multi-syllabic. No, multi-stage fitness competition.
In the greater Cheryl, because we're always talking about this. How do you think this? Good idea, bad idea? Should they do it more often? What do you think, Cheryl?
Well, I'm kind of comparing this to LT in as much as they do seem to have done a better job of at least informing their clientele of it. Everybody in the world seems to know what this multi-level, what was it, Dave? Monosyllabic
multi-stage fitness competition.
Yeah. So everybody at F45 seems to have heard about that because you look at the leaderboard and it's everybody, right? I mean, is that your impression, Matt? Is that everybody, if I was to talk to somebody from F45, they would know exactly what I was talking about with this?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I also think it's kind of forced, right? If you wanted to work out on Saturday, that was the workout. So it's kind of so
even with 2 weeks notice, it was still better than the people who Cheryl met at LT that had no idea that it was happening.
They still don't know. They still don't know here what LT Games is. They don't. Yeah. My husband actually directly asked somebody in his alpha class the other day, the instructor, has no idea what it is, right? So it is interesting. At least they've been able to, like, I can see where it would be a really great kind of thing internally for F45. I'm not so sure they seem to be interested in making it something that, say, I would go do.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they really care to, not, or I'm sure they care to, but I'm not sure if the goal of this was to like bring in new members, right? I think the goal of this was like say, hey, we're a partner of HYROX. The people who do HYROX, this is a way to evaluate yourself. And that's the big thing for F45 in general, is like they do a lot of like, I think twice a year, maybe more, usually twice a year at the gym locations I was working at, there would be like a 6-week challenge. So it's, or a 45-day challenge, right? So you start the challenge, you do an in-body scan at the beginning of it, look at your metrics on body fat, muscle mass, whatever it was, set a goal. And then, you know, we put up little stickers in the gym. Every time you came to the gym, you get a sticker on your name and you keep track of who comes to the gym the most. And then there'd be like a winner for whoever like achieved the largest, you know, fat loss or muscle gain. And then also like a random winner of like a raffle, you know, basically. So, and they do those a couple times a year. So I think that's more of like a 45 thing, is like, we want to set like a timeline and see your progress. Because there's also challenge weeks, like where you do a whole week of like challenge workouts and you can put them all in the app the same way you put this one in the app. And then like that'll come back in 6 months and you can do the whole challenge week again and test yourself against where you were 6 months ago. So I think they're just kind of baking it into how they run their business, and kind of, they're like, cool, it's HYROX related and HYROX movements, but we're going to use it to like, for what our members are using it for.
Yeah. They're just gamifying fitness, which is what, the DECA philosophy is and everything. So yeah, I think here we are looking for new events. This isn't a new one.
It's a benchmark workout. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a really cool concept. Nobody's doing anything like it with that point system and the way they set it up. It's very creative. It's very accessible. Like you said, you just plug it in. It's a workout of the day, and there it is. I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think it's what Matt said. It's not meant to really be this outside source race where everybody comes and does it at this moment anyway. But I think it's a cool concept. And I just, that the leaderboard already pisses me off.
Well, a couple things. So,
and God, don't let me see any reps. I'm sure they were terrible.
As part of my Spartan 200/300, I actually have a free F45 membership, which I completely forgot about. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. Like, I'm going to go do this. And Matt was like, I'm going Saturday. I'm like, well, I'll go next week. You're like, no, it's all the same day. You got to go that day. And then I was like, I saw the thrusters and I was like, I don't want to, I'm not ready to do thrusters. Like, I don't want to hurt myself. And like, could I have gone and just kind of like skipped it? Sure. But I said, why do a test if you're not going to actually test it? Right. So
Kemp, I think we should talk about
this. A janky shoulder and stuff. Anyhow,
Kemp, I think we should talk about this. How much force do you think it takes to do a 55-pound thruster compared to a wall ball?
Oh. Huh. That's a good question. Probably not too different.
And Matt can do 100 wall balls, correct?
Just
not in a row, but he can get through 100 wall balls.
Eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason I was gun shy, Dave, is because when I went to Atlas, that was the last time I like fucked myself up for not being prepared.
But yeah, Atlas,
and
so
Atlas I was
like way nastier on your shoulders.
But like that was the first station, and so I was like, and then I was toast, and I was like, I should at least like practice something a few times. Like there's certain movements I just haven't done, and that's one of them. So it's like I just didn't want to do it. But I was like, okay, but listen, I can go to F45 in the morning. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Like there's a couple near me, and it's new. Like there used to only be in the burbs. There's actually a couple. Like there's one 5 minutes from my kid's school and one 10 minutes from my kid's school. So I look and there's a 7 and an 8, and I drop my kids off at 8 half the days of the week. I'm like, well, I can't go. My kids don't get up early. We're late most days. So then there was another one that had an 8:30. I'm like, that's the one I'm going to make. So I'm taking the kids today. We're running late, drop them off at 8:15, which is right when their school starts. And I'm like, if I leave now, like from where I'm leaving, I will get there right at 8:30. I'd like to get there early for my first one. You know, you meet hey, I'm new. Where do I set up? Where do I put my shit? But I'm going to make it anyway. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go for it, even though it's my first class. So I'm going, and I'm about 5 minutes away, and I really have to go to the bathroom. So I was not going to walk into my first class going, hey there, I know the class is about to start. Can I please blow up your bathroom? And then I'll come out 5 minutes into the class and then do the class. So I held off. So tomorrow will be my first F45 class. I'll go to the 8:31 and I'll let you know how it goes.
Well, you would have gave the staff a good story. I'll tell you that. That's all
you know, listen,
They would
maybe
remember you.
maybe I should have done it for the story then. But I pulled into a coffee shop and said, "Not today, not today, Satan."
Question for you, Matt. The row ski bike, it was 100 for you. Is it 100 for women as well?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, 100 and 100. Yeah, the only thing that changed, I think the only difference is those weights on the thruster, right? Everything, and the weights on the burpees. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the dumbbell weights.
Yeah, everything else is the same. Really easy, like honestly, like really easy to set up. You can do it wherever you want. You can do it yourself.
This feels like it's going to go in the same file as HTX for me.
Yeah.
As far as really good workouts, that you can just kind of knock out of one spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the one criticism I had was like, or not, would just be like, is there, I was kind of curious. Is there something like, when I first found out about it, I was like, I'll sign up and go hang out with some of my coworkers and whatnot. And I looked at the workout, I was like, I was wondering if they make something that makes it kind of like unique to F45, but then I was like, I'm not sure what they would do anyway. Like, I'm not sure how to do that. Which I think is a struggle for any gym workouts, right? Like, what do you do that makes it unique? Especially when, like, F45, I think each location probably has something they can do that would make it unique, but then obviously it's not a uniform event. But like every location is so different, you can't say like run around the block. It's like some places can, or some places, whatever it is. So I think they did the best they could with like knowing, hey, this is the much space every gym has. This is what we can do and what we can't do. So very kept it simple, which is good, I think. Which is good, but I did kind of want to like figure something up. I do think the scoring format. I do like the scoring format in the sense that it does that is kind of what made it unique. Like no one else is using like a point system and gamifying the same way. Everyone else is like time based. So for one to be point based was kind of cool.
Well,
very accessible. Like everybody can. Well, not everybody, but most people can do that.
I know you got to go in a couple minutes, Matt. But can you? How many more minutes do you have?
I got 5 minutes.
Well, I'd love to get a couple of quick takes on some of this HYROX stuff then, before we go, because a lot happened since we last spoke. The first thing that happened was they corrected the rule that we all were clamoring for, which is why are we looking at reps after the event is over? Why are we encouraging athletes to rat on other athletes? And so they rectified that, which is great. But it was put best by our friend Dave, who said, not this Dave, who said, this is the right decision from HYROX, which comes yet after another controversy. To paraphrase someone wise, HYROX always does the right thing after they have exhausted all the bad alternatives.
Are you sure that wasn't me? Because that sounds like me.
Maybe it was you in the first place.
I don't think it was, but I like it. Well done, Dave.
But it does seem, and it's not like we weren't asking before, right? And so they said specifically the things that we said, not that we came up with this idea, like, oh, unless it's somebody punched somebody, and like we found that video where a guy punched another guy, that should be, but otherwise, if it doesn't happen on the spot, we're not going to call it. We've got what they call VAR, which is somebody's job watching the live feed just to find those things. I forget what VAR stands for, but that's apparently already happening. Like, so it doesn't get called, right? The person only does 4 lengths instead of 5. And so the person in the booth goes to to Matlock on the field. Hey, that's a penalty for that team, right? Like that's a thing that we're going to increase VAR. And again, like not encouraging everybody's coach and brother to film everybody else to then point out penalties, because that's clearly what happened to these 2 women. Nobody from the actual race saw them do that little skip thing. So somebody had to tell somebody to tell on them. So anyway, hooray, they changed it.
Good. I think honestly, like it's this is more in line with pretty much every other sport out there, right? Like, unless it's like there's blown calls all the time, you get challenges. I think that was the thing they were trying to figure out, is like they were kind of balancing what I think some other sports do of like, oh, you can challenge a review and whatnot, but it's like you're in a live running game. You can't just like be like, hey, I want to challenge. Like, the hour after review thing was always kind of silly to me, because like you don't you know, you most of the time, even for the Elite 15, like they might be right next to their competitor, you know, even at the highest end, maybe 60% of the time, you know, there's still a lot of race where you're not seeing most other people. Like you're not going to see them doing other reps and whatnot. Like I think and I think that that's the end of the day, it's like this puts the accountability on the judges and on HYROX to be like, hey, we're going to enforce the rule. And I think that's just how every other sport is, right? Like no other sport can you really appeal. Even in other sports, when you appeal a challenge, it's to the judge or to the referee. It's to the the umpire, whatever it is, not to the other team. Like, hey, and it's in most other sports that have these challenges that we watch, like the traditional these American sports is like it's there's only 2 teams. There's not 15 competitors, and so which makes it kind of I think also makes it a little bit more difficult. So, but I think they made the right decision with that. Yeah, they take a while, but hey, it's still a young sport. At least I'll give them some credit for getting there before it was too late, I guess. At least they did. At least they made some positive changes that we want to see before Worlds. Sometimes we've said we waited till like the end of the season or whatnot.
Dave, what do you think?
Again, it is closer to what I do, right? And what I've professed for most times. The only thing I guess that really concerns me is that in the recent history, they've proven to miss a lot on the video and essentially demand for a protest to be filed. So will these things get addressed without protests being filed? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, my bigger issue was that we saw rules being broken that were then not addressed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were missing it before. So now that you can't protest it or appeal it, there's more chance of them missing it entirely and it not being appealed and being straightened out. I don't know. I like this way better.
I still like this way, but I think the one thing
I'm still saying this is better. I'm just saying that's my worries. I'm worried they're going to miss even more.
Well, and the other part of the 2 sets of rule books and all that was my bigger issue with all of it was like, well, wait a minute, what's happening?
I think you still have that.
Well, right, but at least we kind of know it. Like even though they haven't changed it, we still at least okay, now we're aware they can throw things and they can cool or they can spit or whatever. It's fine. There might be other things they can do that we can't do, and we'll find out when that happens. And then they tell me no comment when I ask about it. But
I think I got to go, so I'll just make my last point. I think the one thing is the VAR thing. I think as long as it's, I think kind of like solved by the time the athlete gets the wall balls and it's like on their screen, then
I think
that should be the final. Like it's got to be figured out by them because I think that's what the athlete needs to know. Like obviously, hopefully they know. Like if they've had an infraction at sled push, they hopefully will know by burpees or whatever it is. It won't take that long to get there. But I think that it needs to, like this way, at least as an athlete, when you get there, like maybe you're obviously not happy about it and you're pissed about it, whatever it is. But at least as you go on the wall balls, okay, I got to stand here for 30 seconds after I finish. Like at least you know that then, as opposed to like, oh, I broke it into however many sets and I didn't know that I was going to get penalized after the fact. So I think that's what we want. We want the athletes to be able to solve the race on the field or on the on the floor, as opposed to it being solved after the fact. That's like, I think that's the biggest thing I want to see. Even if it's right or wrong, whatever you call, obviously we want to fix all those too. But I think the thing I want to see the most is that the athletes are determining the race and not post-race protests and judging issues.
All right, go work out. See you later, or go teach, whatever you do.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye, Matt.
So then the question is, can I protest that, right? So, and I think it has happened because I think, like, I'll be honest, I don't watch the whole race. If I'm not there, I usually just kind of fast forward and skip. But I did hear Greg or Till say, like, we're confirming, we think there's a VAR penalty, like something that happened. But then can I protest that, right? Like they tell me, I do my wall balls, I stand there 15 seconds, race is over, and I go, by the way, can you show me that?
Oh, so can you launch an appeal?
Appeal would be the better word, right? So is that still going to be a thing? And should it be, Dave? Should that still be a thing? Because now we're still changing results after the fact, but at least it's not about ratting each other out.
Totally. And I'm all for the not ratting each other out. Putting the onus on the athletes to protest each other's mistakes is terrible. But yeah, there absolutely should still be an appeal process. For any time you get a penalty of any kind, there should be an appeal process.
And
whatever it is.
And they have to say, okay, we'll show it to you, or actually, no, we don't. Like that kind of part isn't the kind of stuff that I would love answers for, but probably
they could. Okay, so the way I work is if I give a penalty, so we're not talking a no rep, right? A no rep is on the field. That is what it is. But if I gave a penalty for cutting the course like those girls did, right? Like the cutting in front of the sled, going off track, whatever you want to call it. So if I was to give a penalty for that, then yeah, they absolutely should have the right to appeal it. Because, maybe I went on what the judge told me. The judge told me they cut it, right? And then the judge is wrong. So they have a video saying, hey, look, we didn't do that. So they have the right to launch the, in my mind, they should absolutely have a right to it. Any penalty assessed, you should have a right to appeal it.
Yeah, and I want to get your thoughts, Cheryl. Does increase just mean like right now it's what's his name? I forget his name. Not Mo and not Matt.
Christian.
No, definitely not Christian. Christian's celebrating. Christian is not watching for
Woo!
the German guy that was helping, that was first filling in from Intra. I forget his name, but he was doing a lot of kind of head judging. Rick. Is it? I think it's Rick right now watching the VAR. So is it Rick plus two people on multiple screens? And like that's the. And by the way, is it screens that we're seeing, or is there like, okay, we're looking at all the screens while these people are running, and so then they get judged just as harshly? Like again, I'd love to ask all these questions and get answers, but I won't. But anyway, Cheryl, what are your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I'm picturing there are multiple camera angles, and now there are more people watching camera angles, right? And picturing them being able to then levy penalties as the race goes on. My wish would be that with all their excellent coverage, that we would not only hear about it from Till, but we would see some sort of graphic on the screen about what penalties are for once we've got a penalty, so that we know what's happening. Because
where would you put that? They're putting a little red 15 or 30. Where should they then put that graphic?
Yeah, maybe there's a crawler along the bottom, that's kind of giving updates or something.
Like an Amber Alert.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, just anything to give us information other than listening to Till and hoping we hear what he says, right? Because that can come and go, and so we don't necessarily always get that information. So that's my wish on all of this, is that my assumption is there are just more people on staff that are going to be watching those camera angles, but I would love to have then updates on the live feed so that we know what is happening. But I have a prediction. Somebody's going to appeal, and it's not going to matter because they want to give out the checks.
Mm-hmm.
That's your answer?
That's my prediction.
I mean, they took away a check from who they took it just to Lauren and Charlie.
Right. But this would involve them listening to the appeal and going through the appeal process and then changing the results. And I think there would be motivation for them not to do that.
Because they don't want to have to take off the checks.
Right. I worry about that. It doesn't seem transparent enough for us to know, right? Like it would be different if the appeal was public and we knew that there was a public appeal, right? So that then we would want to know what the decision was. And then they would have an official statement about what they decided about this appeal. And it would be well thought out and well worded.
So you're saying even if they don't want to give an answer to mean old Matt, they could just publicly say, here's what happened in this race.
I would very much appreciate official statements.
Because I think that's a thing that's gotten lost and that I'm probably at fault for as well, right? Like I think we talked about this last week about taking things personally. So that's what we're asking for is, what's the word? Transparency. So it's not like they have to answer my every WhatsApp message I send, but that here's the rule, here's what happened, here's how we resolved it. And now it's here's what happened, and too bad if you have any questions.
If you had that Elite 15 rule book, you wouldn't have to ask half those questions.
Right. Obviously an Elite 15 rule book would be very nice upcoming. But then when Matt asked any questions, they would say, we have a statement upcoming, and wait for the statement. And then they put out a statement on official channels. And it isn't just kind of mentioned in some random coaches seminar like like I just think it
Wait, you can't poop on that. That's the good news of the call. What are you doing?
I know, no, but I'm saying, and I understand that. Like, I understand how that happened, but I do feel like it lends tremendous credibility to an organization to have a pipeline of information where we all know how it's going to get to us and we all understand. We may not necessarily agree with what they're saying, but we understand why they're saying it. And I can see this is a great step in the right direction, right? And then there are some other steps that I think would also calm the community down and help them trust the judgments on the field.
Do we want to move to Cheryl? You get to decide, and I think I know what you're going to pick.
I do got one thing to say about that. If they consistently follow the rule book and consistently make good calls, then it'll be absolutely fantastic, and it's a huge win. And that's really all it comes down to.
Yes. It'll be so fun to see things go great in Warsaw. It's going to go great, you guys.
Awesome. That's that positive attitude I love. Listen, we got Warsaw and APAC, like back to back, two championships coming up.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got the never-ending stream of content showing "quote unquote" poor judging, or this big Division 1 thing. Which do you want to tackle next, Cheryl? I think I know.
I think I'd rather be big with the Division 1. I think let's do the fun stuff with the Division 1.
I thought we'd get the negative one out of the way.
Okay, I'm happy to talk about that. All right, Cheryl, let's talk about that.
What's the never-ending stream of content showing poor judging, including shuffling lunges and 60 no reps this weekend?
Look, I don't know about you guys, but I was getting a lot of people sending me, "Did you see this? Did you see this?" Like, there's a lot of that going on, and I. One of them that I got was somebody who was getting some content of a guy who was doing sandbag lunges, who once he stood up, he took a couple steps, like he sort of shuffled through and then took another lunge. And then, you know what I mean? He was the lunges were very soft, that's for sure. And, you know,
21, 22 lunges. We used to see that a lot.
Right.
I've learned from the NBA, those are gather steps.
Dude. Okay. I'm sorry, real quickly.
No, we can't go there. Can't go there. Let Cheryl finish, because that's a long side win.
I just want to say I've been very excited to watch the final 2 minutes of a lot of basketball, because these YouTube videos I'm being feeding me. And wow, yeah, we went from 3 to like 6. I mean, there's just a whole lot of stepping going on in basketball these days.
Sorry, Cheryl, that was horrible of me.
Yeah. No, but And you know, so and then of course the really viral one was the 60 no reps on wall balls that happened. And this is all from Houston, right? That people are a lot of people had tough sleds in Houston that they're talking about, and there's a little bit of outrage with that. But the current outrage seems to be, you know, getting footage of these judging errors that are happening when 17,000 people are going through these events. And I have a theory about this. My theory is that it used to be that you could run a HYROX and show people footage of you racing and having inspirational quotes put over your, you know, and that would be great content that people would enjoy seeing. And I think that we have shifted now to, if I want to get engagement, I better find something terrible that has happened, right? It seems to be the way that people are getting attention now. You know, we've talked about judges hunting for mistakes. It feels like people are hunting now for injustice and in this mass participation sport. And, you know, I mean, I'm the one who's like, I want to know who the elite judges are. I want to know what their credentials are. I want to know if they, you know what they're doing. And I want to know if there is controversy. I'd like to hear from them about what their side of the story is. Like I'm all about that for the elites, but I do think that there's a point where we need to recognize that stuff isn't going to be perfect on course for us age groupers. Like, stuff's going to happen. And giving the judges a really hard time is not going to get us more judges. And that we need to sort of find a way to manage that expectation. I worry. Look, if I'm 10 wall balls in and I've been getting a bunch of no reps, I'm talking to my judge and asking for a box if they think it's a depth issue, let me get this done. Why would I do 60 more than I needed to? So I don't really know what happened there, but it seems to be a real breakdown of communication. I was talking to my husband about how there are people he has judged in wall balls who just utterly refuse the box. And so they are just choosing more no reps, right? When they do that, because they still don't have the mobility to get it done. And I don't know what happened in this situation, but it seems to be a massive breakdown in communication between the judge and the athlete. And so I don't know. I just feel like, are we just looking for attention by doing this? And do we as a community need to find another way to generate content?
I blame Bethany McChesney.
Explain.
Why do we blame Bethany?
Because she called it the box of shame.
Oh, how dare she?
Think of it as the box of opportunity.
There you go. There you go.
It's easier.
I've taken said box of shame, but not in a long time. It was a bucket back when I did it. So I think it's half what you said, Cheryl, or 25%, and the other 25% is what the kids call main character energy. And we live in a world of, let me tell you what happened to me today at the gym, at Starbucks, at my job. The world has wronged me. And maybe it's my age, but I got to say, for the most part, I do not give a shit, because there are more important things in the world to worry about than those 5 things I just mentioned, right? Like, I don't know, my family's health, right? Or the overall, like, well-being of the world. I don't know. But I said to several people this weekend, did you see this? I wrote back, don't care. And then depending on my level of relationship with them, I would say, sorry to be so short, I'm just getting a lot of these, or I wouldn't say that. Because I don't. So should you, when you pay $200 or more, expect a level of quality judgment, a quality product? Yes, you should. Yes. However, if you don't get it, you're going to have to deal with it and move on with your life, because there are 17,000 people and we don't have a paid judging system. You might get a good volunteer, you might get a bad one. And if you don't get a PR or you don't go to Worlds, you're just going to have to get over it. And I don't know any other way to say it. Dave, is that too simple?
I mean, no, again, so these are things that you cannot appeal. You cannot protest. You cannot appeal. And
people are threatening lawsuits. People are sending letters. People are like, we talked to 17 people and I can't believe this. And
great, waste your money. You already wasted your $200. Go waste some more. No, you got to look at it much like when Rich Ryan had the thing, right? When he had his issue with his judge. And he came to the conclusion afterwards, well, I am just going to make sure that my squats are so freaking deep that there is no disputing them. 99% of the time, that's going to keep you safe and you're not going to have a problem. Will you get that 1 or 0.5% of the time where you got a judge who is just out to freaking lunch? Yep, you might. And that happens, and I'd love to promise you it won't happen, but it will. And I'm sorry that you get that. That is sport. You know, we in hockey, we call it puck luck. You know, sometimes the puck bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't. And, you know, that might just be a day you have to deal with that. And you get that ass to grass as best you can. And like Cheryl says, if you're going as deep as you can and you know you're going deep enough, ask for the box. Just go, you know.
Well, but just to be clear, I also heard from someone who was upset that there wasn't enough judges in the lunges or the farmers carry, and so people cheated. And
that's legit correct when people are cheating. Like,
but for those that cry, well, then the only answer is for you to go and judge. That's not the answer either. Again, because I spend my money doesn't mean I then have to go volunteer because I find a problem with it. It's a solution. It's a way to be a part of the solution, but don't tell me that's the only solution. Well, if you don't judge, you can't say anything. It's not, doesn't work. It's not like not voting, so you can't say anything. It's not like that. But yeah, you guys, I mean, someone might say it's never happened to you, or you've never tried to get a world spot. Like, people are going to say a lot of things about why my opinion is not valid. But again, I just hope this is something I would teach my kids. Right? Like, this teacher's, like, my son, like, gets in trouble for stuff. Sometimes it's not his fault, but because it's his fault a lot of the other times, he kind of gets pointed out or picked on. It's like, that's the breaks, kid. Like, learn that stuff about the world. The world is unfair. Like, I had to turn into fucking Joe DeSena over here, but you guys got to get over it. or go spend your money doing something else. Because again, it's not a perfect system, and I know you work hard. I know you train. I know it means a lot, but like you're deciding, like dying on the hill of I'm not going to go to Worlds because of this judge or because this person in front of me cheated. I don't know what to say to you. Like get something else in life that matters.
You know what though? It is also within everybody's right to post whatever they want. And if you want to, if you feel wronged and you want to post it and you want everybody to see,
send it to me and Cheryl though, because we don't care.
You know what? Send it to me. I will either validate you or tell you you're wrong.
I validate people, man. I don't ever say I don't care because I do care what people think.
I will either say your reps were good or your reps were borderline.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people were asking me. Like, what did I think of the guy's reps, right? And first of all, I mean, camera angle. That a lot. Yeah, and look, for me, I actually thought, yeah, the judge actually had a point. I think they were very, like, a lot of them were not. They weren't Rich Ryan reps, right? Yeah. Where it was like, I don't know. I thought everybody thought.
Because by the way, you could still get them 100% right. I mean, we all thought Janelle had great depth and she got killed by some judge. I've seen another woman whose like ass was like through the ground and she's like, what am I doing?
Right.
And so it still might happen. So I don't think that's the answer either. And it doesn't mean I don't care about you as a person. It just means I don't care that this happened at the race and that we have shitty judging. I don't care.
Yeah. I just think, I do think that there's just been a shift from, look, I ran a HYROX to look at what happened to me at this HYROX, or look at my outfit that I wore, you know, look at the Speedo that I wore at the HYROX. You know what I mean? Like, and, you know, our fella in the BBJ, you know, lanes, right? So there seems to be just this motivation and this trend of a different level of content that unfortunately can be awfully critical to judges who are just trying their best. And it does make it really difficult. Look, I think this race is super duper hard, right? And people are working themselves to death to get ready for these races. They're so excited for it. The emotions are so much higher than in most competitions that I've ever seen, just because of the level of effort that it takes. And I think that it's kind of starting to bleed over, and the expectations may be awfully high, when in reality, when you look at the elites, they suffer injustices quite a bit. Stuff happens. They're able to let it roll off their backs and focus on the next one and not let it undermine them. So, and yeah, if you don't have a good customer experience, then don't keep spending money on it.
Yeah, I just think it. I remember I did a local race here once, and it was a half marathon, and there was no parking if you got there like later than 6:45, and they didn't have the water set up right away. And this guy went online and like ranted about it. I remember thinking like, like, first of all, they told you to parking, and second of all, like, what are you gonna, like, it happens. Like, and he's like, well, I was in the front and they didn't have the water set up yet and I needed it. And it's like, okay, go sign up for another fucking half marathon, dude. You know what I mean? So again, there isn't a HYROX next weekend like there's a half marathon, but I'm just, guys, like, they're so, everyone again is like the main character of the movie, and so they think whatever they're saying matters. And it's like, yeah, you got stuck with a bad judge. That is unfortunate, and life goes on. I just don't know what else to say besides that. And yeah, I kind of don't care. So send it to those guys. Now, if you see something, Dave and Cheryl both care, save it to them. Send it to them. Care. And if you guys find something meaningful, then you can send to me. If you go, hey, I think there's something we should talk about, then we'll totally talk about it on the show.
You got
it. But I mean, even people who, like, I haven't got my qualified email yet and I'm trying to get a flight. And it's like, dude, I feel for you for that. And like, it's customer service, and like, they may get back to you, but like I can't handle every customer service problem. I can't deal with every bad judging problem. It's like, it's just the way it's going to go sometimes.
I think honestly though, I do think when they do that to you is they're just hoping to bring attention to the problem that exists for many people.
Agreed.
I'm a sympathetic person who cares. And no, and I do. I think that obviously they're pissed, they're annoyed, especially if that would really bother me. I admit that if I went and worked my ass off and got a World's Call spot and I lost it because the email didn't come through or I didn't send or anything, I'd be pissed. I'd be really upset. But I think they just they know that we bring attention to issues, and they're just feeding issues that they're like, hey, this needs some attention. So I'm thinking that's the motivation.
Some things do need attention, though. There are some things that do need attention.
Yeah.
Right. But I also think that by you folks sending us the things that you're sending us, it does give us an idea of a broader trend of how the sport is going. And I will say, we've been doing the show long enough that I am noticing a difference in the stuff that we're getting. And it feels like the wheels are kind of coming off on a few spots in HYROX. Like they're having administrative issues, right? Emails aren't coming through, things aren't happening like they happened last year. Like it seems like people are getting emails about, hey, good job, you finished your race, when they haven't even raced yet, right? Like there are things happening that are making people a little nervous about whether or not the system is strained.
Yeah, my friend is doing his first HYROX in Miami. My buddy Chris Strub. He's very excited. We should probably get him on here actually after he does it. And how do you get a ticket? How does this work? And you forget how these basic things happen. So he gets one for Miami. And I said, hey, by the way, Miami's coming up. Wednesday, they'll let you know when you race. And he's like, how ridiculous is that? Why do I not know until Wednesday? Because like no other race does that.
No.
So
it's a secret.
It is a secret, but I do think that we can see the trends by the things that people send us. So send them to me and Dave. We'll let Matt know.
Cheryl will vet. Cheryl will happily vet anything.
Yes.
But listen, I get plenty of great stuff. I got some amazing video clips from this weekend that happened at the thing. I didn't know DECA canceled a day until I got an email from somebody. So like people send me good stuff. Keep sending me the good stuff. Most of your personal gripes about judging, you can save or send to Cheryl.
Let's
go to that. So let's go to the coaches conference where I now have actually 10 minutes of video. I put up 6 today, which is I put up a couple of them before and then I got another one from Lauren Rental that I haven't shared yet. And there might be more out there because people go to this thing and they film it. And we learned that HYROX have been working on something called Division 1, which will be another elite level below the Elite 15, which, as far as we can tell, will race number 16 through 30 at the majors and or different majors, because it's something about qualification that I still don't quite know. And when I asked him for a comment, he did not say no comment. Matt actually got back with me and said, hey, we'll wait till the official announcement. So that one, he did say that, Cheryl. So
yes. Totally understandable on this.
But I wrote up everything I could about it, and the video is now up. Dave, what are your thoughts on the first change since the Elite 15 was introduced a couple years ago? Well, I'd say the majors were introduced a couple years ago. This is the first major change. No pun intended.
They keep getting closer and closer to the system that I described in the beginning without going all the way in. And they keep removing...
Just let the best race it out. That's your
They theory? Keep removing all of the problems that they said were the problem with my system that were never problems. Yeah, I mean, great. I think it's good. More people get a chance to race. And if anyone wants to know what my system was, I can describe it in full detail and have many times. Yeah, it's more chance for more people to get in big races, and that's great. I'm happy for it. I'm good. It's just, to me, it's just like, I really do believe, as arrogant and whatever as I was just sounding condescending, I really do believe it is closer to what I thought should happen, and it makes me laugh a little bit. But I'm glad. I think it's a step forward, not knowing all the details yet.
Well, the part that got added today was you guys are going to be really excited. There's like even more money coming. Like
right.
that was kind of part of it. Like Matt's like, I'm moving to America because
he's going to the UK.
Sorry, the UK.
Yeah, he's going to London.
I'm going to the UK.
I was thinking, where's he going to be in America? We should find that out. Texas?
I'm going to go to the UK, more marketing, more everything. I'm going to help launch this professionalism of the sport. That was the word used, right? Professionalism. So does that include kitting out those bottom 15? Does that mean the money at the top gets even bigger and there's some more money for the smaller, for the 16 through 30? Again, I do think that will come out as an announcement, maybe at Worlds, like how they kind of snuck out all the majors at Worlds last time.
Do you know what I thought was interesting? And this clicked into my head when I listened to him speak, where he was talking about basically a salary.
Well, he immediately walked that back. I think what he meant,
but then he said it again. Like he walked it back and then he said it again.
I think he meant full time. I think that's what he meant, because I made sure not to use that word in my article because it was too confusing. He said salaried. I don't mean salaried. I mean that would be.
Then he said it again.
Yeah, I think he just meant full time. Didn't you?
I was thinking,
Cheryl.
Yeah, I thought he stepped back that salary pretty quick.
So like enough money that these people can make a living. Enough money that these people can make a living is what he's saying.
I thought he might be thinking something similar to like the World Fitness Project does, where they have some contracted athletes.
I can't imagine they would ever do that. Why would they guarantee any money to people when they didn't have to? I feel like that would be a bad idea.
I don't know.
Like WFP did it because they wanted to attract people from something else. People are already doing HYROX.
No, I know. But if you do that, right? If for example, if you're making, and you think about it too, I know the WFB, you have your pros and you have your challengers, and now we're going to have our Elite 15, and then we're going to have Division 1. And there's just a lot of similarities in that they're kind of saying, I don't know what's going this way. I'm just literally throwing shit at the wall.
Right.
But you could have something along that system where it's like if you're a pro in the Elite 15, you're guaranteed this, and then you can win this much more. You know, if you're
maybe that is what he meant. Shit, maybe that is what he meant.
You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, you get $60,000 a year, you get $20,000. It's like you all get $30,000 a year to be part of the Elite 15, and then you can win this much more at the races. Like just that kind of thing.
Can we just pray that this also means earlier starts? If they're going to do a 16 through 30 and a 1 through 15, that we're not racing at 9 o'clock at night.
Logic would dictate it would be later starts because there's more races.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where they're going to fit these races into the. Right now the way they have the majors is it's typically on a race weekend somewhere where then they stick a major, and so therefore they have to work around the schedule of moving tens of thousands of age groupers through. Sometimes they don't even have the grid, right? They just put the elites in the same spot as the age groupers were, just with a few minor changes.
So I can't remember. Did DC they do that, or did they at least combine push and pull? Or do they just keep it the same? I feel like they combine push and pull.
They combine push and pull, but I mean, what does that matter?
Yeah, like it's little changes to make it a little more streamlined. They move the ski ergs or whatever, but it's still not on the grid. So it's not that 200-meter thing that they had in Hamburg or whatever, where it was specifically delineated just for that race.
5 laps the first run. Or whatever.
Yes, exactly. And then the farmer carry was around that, right?
Last goes the same way last fall.
Right. And then all of a sudden they didn't do that anymore. And I'm not really sure. I thought maybe Phoenix was just because it was a stadium or whatever, but it doesn't seem like they're doing it.
Yeah, I thought Phoenix was definitely going to be like, we'll let them run 1 lap around the stadium. It was going to be different, but it
wasn't.
I think, where is it? There's so many things in my head.
Okay, pick one. We got time. Just pick one.
Dave has so many feelings.
So many things. So many things. I think as far as the grid goes with the you say where are they going to fit them in? Well, I'm just racing them all the day before. So the day before you have all the people go out there, you're going to do your release. And that was, again, part of my system was the amount of people you could have. You just put them all through the day before. And that way you could put them all through the grid if you wanted. Right. So I would run with that. As far as why they don't have this separate venue or a separate course, I have no idea why they wanted to do that in the first place. It just seemed like a lot of work and not a lot of payoff.
I think maybe they thought the draw would be bigger, but they're realizing it's not. It's going to be the people that are there. So by doing it a day early, same thing. You're going to get some people that are there who flew in a day early, and that's it. It's not going to be like it's fine that it's not packed.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, I think they'll just be a day earlier, and they'll run the Division 1 and then run the elites.
I feel like I do want to show this though. Now this is gonna, because I think you guys will find this interesting. So, Cheryl, what's her name?
Her name is Cheryl.
Her name isn't Cheryl though. It's
her name is Cheryl.
Her name is Cheryl. This is a video sent to me by Lauren Rentala.
Is it bad reps?
It's not bad reps.
Look what happened to me.
By the way, Lauren Rentala is constantly climbing up my favorite American list. I absolutely love Lauren. She's great.
Dude,
She's
awesome.
everybody's favorite American.
She's going to come back on because they have improved the HCT and it kicks the shit out of a PFT, which I think we don't even hear about anymore anyway. But they've got an in-app scoring thing, kind of speaking of what we were talking about today with Matt. And
it's a multi-stage fitness competition.
Is it?
Yes.
I could put it in the file with the other two. Okay, so are you finding this video? Can I tell you something that's I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to tell you anyway?
I mean, this only goes out to the entire world.
Exactly.
Those are the best things to tell.
Listen, I am envisioning in London a permanent HYROX facility where there is a HYROX setup permanently, where they could run elite races, where they could have competitions going.
Maybe this is what he was talking about.
I think it would be brilliant. I think, then they could do exactly what they wanted.
All right. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it. So now that I think about it, because it's far away and it's a foreign accent, but we'll try it. We're going to try it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put it on the screen. Sorry. I'm going to put it on that screen. It's talking about the fact that it's hard for athletes to get to these events. It kind of speaks to what happened with our buddy, Dr. Alondra. So let me pull this up and let me know if you can hear it. Share screen. Window.
Dave, he's going to edit this part out.
Definitely.
Foolish idea. I can't hear anything.
Nope.
Why did you say anything sooner?
Because we were hoping
thought it was a dramatic pause.
The thing went for 10 seconds.
That's a dramatic pause. And the drama was built. It was effective.
Let's see where I can put this. Let's see. I think there's a setting on screen sharing, like let people hear stuff.
It says your name there, but you're not in the picture. I'm just saying.
Hang on. Settings. Recordings. Audio. Show advanced options. Well, I'm going to hold up this version where you definitely won't be able to hear it, but I'll try it anyway.
Okay.
Tell me if you can hear this. Within 10 seconds or within 5 seconds.
Some of them are now at the stage where they're struggling to get that extra day off that they want for the media and briefing obligations. They can't get the extra day off work. And that's where I'm talking really some of the very much top 15. Some of them are really in that position. And so if we think about the reality of the impact of that on their performance, coupled with the making the jump from where they are part-time to full-time professional, there's a financial reality to that. We all want certainty. We all need certainty, and like we have bills to pay. As an athlete, I know I've got a window of time where I can perform at this level, and maybe for a number of years to perform at that level, but then that will fade away. So I've got to really take care of life in that period. And I can imagine the impact on the athletes, and we talk about it a lot. It's very much consideration, and we as a sport have a responsibility more and more now, with particularly the Elite 15, to help them bridge that gap. For example, if I need financial certainty, I'm going to need prize money, sure, but actually that's not where the big money comes from in the end. It's endorsements, it's partnerships. Well, then I need to have a profile that's interesting and appealing to those partners, and I need to retain those partners, and so on. And all of these, everything around that, while still training a lot and being able to rest and recover and perform when it matters on race day. So I think I'm sure you guys could pull apart a load of what I've just said and really deep dive into all of the aspects of that. But that's the reality. Well, and I know we call it a young sport, and we can't keep saying that forever. But when we're talking about the Elite 15 and the professional end of it, it is a very young sport, which is exciting, really exciting. But when we think about the impact on the athletes, mentally, the cognitive load that comes with that. I think we've all had times in our life, if I ask for a show of hands, who's ever been stressed about paying a bill? We've probably all been in that position. We know how it feels, but if you're trying to give 100% of your physical and emotional energy to the program that's being put in front of you and working towards race day, you don't need that little nagging doubt and that, the worry about paying the bill, the worry about am I spending enough time at home? Is this impacting my relationship? Am I neglecting the kids? Whatever it might be, if I walk the dog. All of the real life stuff that we all have, they have that too, but are trying to perform at an exceptional level.
Your thoughts, Cheryl? You were listening intently.
Yeah, it was almost like watching a Charlie Brown cartoon, but so let me reflect back. He is saying that they are aware that the way things currently are puts a grand strain on these elites because they don't have a guarantee of any kind of money unless they win. And yet you've got to take off work. You've got all these other things going on. And so they're going to try to mitigate that going forward somehow, which maybe there is a salary involved then if you get to a certain level so that you don't have to worry about that. I don't quite understand what he was getting at.
I think he's a hell of a lot better at this than he is at the official thing.
What's this?
The announcement, it was engaging. It was kind of cool to listen to him. I think he's a hell of a lot better at that than he is at the official thing. That was what I got. But yeah, this is sounding more and more like I had a point with my base salary and prize money. Like,
why did he say, if he didn't use the word conflict of interest, I might have just thought he slipped it out. Like, oh, I don't mean that. And then he just slipped it. But then he said something about a conflict of interest. If I go back, I'm not going to go back and watch it right now.
No. I didn't catch the conflict of interest thing, but I mean, if they're seriously considering having enough money in this for people, like more than just 4 or 5 people to do it full time, man, that's going to take some serious cash.
Where is that coming from?
Cash?
Like, no, but is it like, okay, so we are going to sign an even bigger deal? Like they've already got, the shoes, the clothing, the sleds, the MyProtein, like where are they going to, like, where are they going to get this? Are they going to go back to the sponsors and say, we've raised your thing because we're going to pay athletes, or that's just going to come directly from ticket sales out of the overall kitty?
Well, I would think a combination of all those things.
I think the good news is that, like, I believe him. Like, this is like the promise that we always hoped in Spartan, but we knew was never going to come. But
no, I think they definitively have a plan. Yeah.
I think so too. And I wasn't thinking salary at all, but now, like, and even the way he said that, he's like, oh, I'm sure you guys can pick apart what I'm saying. It's like, oh, so you kind of do want us to read into it. So, listen, I think we've got my big clickbaity title now, right? Salaried athletes? ?
It's that is what I read between the lines, right? And I read it before.
Why is no one talking about that then? I feel like more people should be talking about that. Like everybody seemed to know about, even before I posted, people like, yeah, I heard Matt said something about the Division 1. This seems like a much bigger deal.
Because you will care about the money.
I care about
always, you do. You're always like, what's the prize money? What's this? You're very much a money guy for these things. A lot of people are more.
I feel like Dave is very close to being anti-Semitic, and I'm going to have to point of privilege, Dave. Point of privilege. I have the card. Wait a minute. Where's my privilege card?
The wrong card. You used the wrong card. Back of the line.
Somebody else used the wrong card. That's what I heard. Somebody else used the wrong card.
Canadian politics.
I think that Matt Locke is a showman, and I think he knew exactly what he was doing by just throwing out these cryptic statements that are just making us hang on every word. Look at us. We're just, he knows what he's doing. He's
good.
Very, very good at this. Yeah. Like, give him his own reality TV show. He knows how to do this,
Stop him from making judgment calls.
Yeah. Look, my impression is that HYROX is swimming in cash right now, and that they are trying to decide how to best use it. And they've decided that they want to develop the elite program. And I think that's going to be really cool. And I'm very happy for the elites.
I think because it's doing what it's supposed to do. Again, like we have this like Spartan thing to compare of. It's like, well, how many tickets did Hobie Call sell? Does giving Ryan Atkins money really make a difference? And there's always this funnel of sport aspiration. How does that trickle down to the age group athlete, the participation athlete? They seem to have done it really well. And again, we're all riding a great wave of content and Instagram and short for like, it's all that great timing, right? It's like that worked out really well for them in this great time of fitness, and all of it's working in their favor. And they've done it really well. I mean, I think they could do a better job with some of the stuff, which we've talked about, but like they have done enough that when people say like an Elite 15 is like what that means to people, they instantly get it. It has value. People really want to be in it. You see guys and girls crying as they cross the finish line, as it means they get into the Elite 15 or they get to a major or they get to Worlds. Like we are building this. I'll say we, God darn it, we're building a real sport. And I like that he said, hey, we can't say young sport forever. Because again, you know, Spartan's been saying it since the fucking 1930s. So yeah, I guess I should share that video. I
think you should. The videos you've been doing with the captioning has helped a lot. It's been really fun.
It's hard to hear. It's really hard to hear.
You know, and he has this lovely voice, you know, and it's just, it's really hard to come across. So yeah, that's going to be great.
People are filming with cell phones and far away, and you know, maybe there's even more that comes out of that, but that's just, you know, we've been lucky that people fired up their phones and were like, oh, did you see this? Anything else you want to say about that? I think we covered everything.
No, it's going to be good.
Well, Dave was gone, and we'd love to hear about your trip to Miami, Dave, last weekend, which now feels like a month ago.
Yeah, a whole week ago. It was excellent. I mean, it was great. Miami, spring break, not my cup of tea.
Did you put a hat and or sunscreen on?
Oh, I had a hat on all the time. I did. Okay. And unlike normally when I go to an event and have no time to do anything, I took 5 minutes and put my feet in the water.
Oh. Congratulations. You had a whole day. You were like, we're going to the beach. We're not flying out till tonight. You had a whole day.
Yeah, it didn't work.
What happened?
It did. Well, one, I got my flight moved earlier.
Okay.
Which ended up being a good thing. And two, we ended up at the venue doing some stuff. So
okay. All right.
Yeah. So, you know, like all great plans. But it was really good.
I was like, hey, he's got a whole day.
No. So it was great. We saw a lot of fantastic athletes. I mean, it was an invitational. This was not like a full event. This was an invitational little thing, you know, like much like HYROX does, to get some publicity, get some pictures. That's why it's on the beach, big setting, all that stuff. But it was a great chance for me to really dive into what the layout's like, what the event's like, and what to expect. And it was good. I think it is an incredible, it's a very good test of fitness. Very good test of fitness. It's the kind of test that I really like. It ran well. The athletes were good. The judging was good. There's obviously things that can always be fixed. There's stuff that, you know, hopefully I can help with. And now I'm center screen.
I know you hate that. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, I know you hate that.
Yeah, so
can I quickly explain to people, because I've done it twice now, and before you go into each section, you've basically got like the equivalent, I think, of like of a Danielle. Like you've got someone who's going to tell you the rules and what the time, right? Before each section.
Yeah, there's like a pre-race brief before each section.
Before each of the 3 sections. And so you were the head judge. So did you deliver any of those? What was your role throughout the day?
So I was technically one of the directors of sport.
Oh, look at you, Matt Locke territory.
Yes. So anyway,
when are you going to move to the United States or England?
Yeah. So I did give the pre-race brief for the elites, for the elite wave, for the invitational. So I did do that.
For all 3?
Pardon me?
For all 3 sections?
No, I gave one at the beginning, and then they were reminded at every section.
Okay.
Right. And then basically I flowed, right? I oversaw everything. Myself, along with one of the director of sport from the UK, Stephen. We floated and saw kind of everything, overlooked everything. It's similar to what I do at the DECAs, right? Just I'm everywhere, right? Doing everything, helping judges that need help, helping make sure that people are getting good quality judging, that the judges aren't making mistakes, making sure the proper weights are there, that they aren't getting confused. Everything. I will be back. I think that's safe to say.
Okay.
And
we don't have a race city update yet, though.
Yeah, I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah,
and question
ask me
number 1
questions.
is dates. I want to know dates.
I don't
listen,
have
they've
the
been
dates.
talking about this for months,
But at
saying
least
we're
they
going
did
to tell you
finally have one happen.
not one that I could participate in. Let me just mention.
But it's a
Listen,
why couldn't you participate?
I am doing strict press every week. I am ready for I want this.
Why couldn't you participate in this one?
It was an invitational. I never heard
No, there was open
about
tickets too.
How did I know about this?
I don't
nothing.
know.
I knew nothing about this.
Yeah.
I had only heard it was an invitational.
It was it was ramped up way too late. Like, yeah, they needed a way bigger run up for it.
Yeah, I had no idea that I could even participate.
Do you have an ETA on the ETA of the announcement? How about that?
No, I got nothing.
Yeah, because wouldn't it have been great if after they had done this invitational and it went so great, and I saw it, like Lauren posted, I saw a few people posting about, their experience. Camilla had a great experience, saw her strict press, saw all this stuff.
Tara Jackson.
Perfect opportunity for them to be like, hey, you just heard about this. Now you can plan for it because it's going to be here during this time and nothing. And that is, as an athlete who's looking for things to do, I was rather frustrated by that. So you have nothing for it.
No, I got nothing. And I think part of the reason is because they went there over to Portugal. Like the entire staff, straight from there, from Miami over to Portugal to do the event they just did this weekend. So they do need to get that.
Had like the ability to communicate, I don't know, in ways where you could post something and it would get somewhere else.
The
where
telephone.
You didn't have to
telegraph
in Portugal.
Yeah. They totally. And like I said, there's things they need to fix. There's things they need to do differently. But I do have.
All right, well, the next event is. All right, so we've got Milan next weekend, Paris after that, and then a couple-week break, and then Berlin. So hopefully we would get an announcement soon if they want to do a fall race. I heard a couple things, maybe New York, maybe LA, maybe Austin. Like I've heard a lot of maybes. So hopefully at some point they will announce those. Because again, like you need a win. They need a nice
more run up so that people can buy tickets.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so let's
give us some time to train for it and stuff. Yeah,
like I think one thing I can say is you will have more run up than you did for this one.
Yeah, because honestly, look, in the United States, like they need to understand we can't just hop on a plane. You know what I mean? There needs to be time. We need to be able to have a few weeks notice to be able to get a decent flight, get a hotel, all that sort of stuff. I mean, the United States is bigger, right? So we can't just pop over. So that would be my issue number one. Yeah. I do have another question for you though.
Yes.
Okay, so I do feel like of all of these races or whatever events you call them, what are they called? Competitive AMRAPs,
multi-stage
competitions. Yeah. These multi-stage competitions, I think every one of them has their strengths. I think every one of them brings something to the table that is absolute perfection. And if we could put them all together, that would be amazing, right? So what is ATHX bringing to the table? Like, what do they do that everybody could learn from?
Strength. They are the one that brings legitimate strength. You know, when you go in and yet at the same time, they figured out a way that you can reward massive strength while at the same time having everybody accessibly be able to do it. So while you, Cheryl, can go in there and strict, what do we have for our strict press now?
Oh, I'm only up to maybe 75. I'm not much.
75. You can go in there and do 75-pound strict press. And then Tola, one of the guys I judged while we were there, he did 210 pounds. 200-pound strict press. So
he did 2 of me.
Yeah. So what you have there is they're the only one of these competitions that is legitimately rewarding basic fundamental strength. And that was great. And that's where it was very interesting to watch because we had some super strong people and then we had some people that we know about. And out of the hybrid, we had Tara, we had Lauren, we had Camilla, and we had Cole. And admittedly, they all suffered on strength, even Cole. But then when they went out on that second endurance section, Cole just walked away from everybody. Yeah. Like he just tore off. He destroyed it. And Camilla and Tara were the top two women. And then they went into the Metcon scenario, and it was just it offers a wide range. And I think that strength element would be the one thing they bring in that no one else is. So
fun. A great reason for me to train these things, right? Like I would not have been doing it other than that. So I think that's great.
And I would say because of that, if you were to say who would overall, like if it became popular and got that kind of the same kind of level of athletes, I would say that the person who wins that would be, I would consider a fitter person than the person who wins HYROX. Mm-hmm. Now, coincidentally, could be the same person, but I think that this is a more rounded test. Because like I could see Lauren going in there and being one of the best there is at it.
So last year, I think Chandler won it, right? Like the finals?
Yes. Yeah, Chandler Smith, yeah.
But so you think that's a better, even though he's considerably not close to the fastest HYROXers, you think this is a better test because...
Yeah, I don't believe HYROX uses enough strength.
Okay.
In my opinion. But fitness is such a... Who is the fittest? And I mean, I've said it before, I don't think CrossFit is a very good test like the games. I don't think that's a good test of who is the fittest on earth. I think it's too high skill level. So, but everybody's kind of got their own grade of what they think it is. I think that this is can there be a better test? Yes. Yes, we could definitely make a better test. But right now of these mass participation events, I think that it might be the best test of fitness. Most complete. Because HYROX is just, it's so much engine and really not a lot of strength.
Fun. Well, I'll hope for those dates.
And they had nice shirts. Cheryl, they had nice swag.
Let's go. Was it pretty? Was it pretty?
Adidas swag here.
Okay.
Stripes down the side.
Okay.
Comfortable, very nice, very pretty. A lot of black and white, kind of HYROX colors, but a lot of good swag. Got some shoes.
No, one of my favorite pieces of swag is like the slightly oversized from the last time I went. It says "Own the Floor," which is a cool tagline.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Reconnecting. Hang on.
I got an Adidas
Can you see me?
one.
Did it reconnect?
Yeah, you're doing okay. You're catching up to us.
Anyway, I love that shirt, and it looks really cool. So, and again, I like it's a better tagline than like the high society or fucking whatever.
Yeah.
On the floor.
And they did have good production value too. They had the screens up with so when the athletes were on the rowers, you could see who was where. If you were watching from far away, that was on screen. So that was pretty cool. They had TV screens marking so the athletes could see how much time's left in the event and stuff.
Do they have little boats? Do they have little boats?
Little boats going across the screen.
Gotta love the boats. Is it spectator friendly? Like one thing I love about HYROX is people can see where you're at every time. Stand right.
The way they set it up, it really could be spectator friendly. Yeah.
Okay.
I would think things would be hard to follow. Like, I mean, the lifting, they didn't have markers for what everybody was trying to lift. So that could be a little hard to follow. Other than just
should a judge hold up a thing like 350 or?
It would be nice, but with such and I was thinking about that when I was thinking of suggestions. But for example, your strict press in the beginning, you got 6 minutes, right? So the judge not only has to calculate what you've put on the bar and then watch and make sure you do that, but then to give them another thing where they got to flip a little thing to put out it's just a lot to ask, I think. Yeah, could it be possible? Yeah. And maybe over time they perfect that, but I don't think they're there yet.
But speaking of dates, we did get a veritable cornucopia of Deadly Dozen races.
Oh, geez.
In every country, except this one. That's what you wrote in the note, Cheryl. Every country but this one.
Yeah. Everybody's got a ton of Deadly Dozen. It's clearly going gangbusters everywhere in the world, everywhere in Europe, Australia, I should say. And then we get San Antonio.
I think it's got to be a lot easier to get a track over there or something.
Well, I know that Jason in England, it's easier and cheaper to get tracks, and now he's multi-seasoned into it, so he's got a real proof of concept. But they're going to have 24 races. Now, a couple of them are, I didn't put every single, like one of them's a kids one and one of them's a deadly gross. And so I didn't get all into that, but still like 20 or 22 like real events in all these cities, some cities 6 times. And if he sells them out, I think he's still only doing like 600 or 700 he sells out at, because he stops it at like 4 o'clock. Maybe this year they're going longer and he'll try to push for 1,000. I don't know. No, I do too. I like not too much pressure on the volunteers, not to go too late, all that stuff. But clearly, like we're going to start hearing a lot about it. Like because it's outside, there is no events until the spring. But then I think once the spring hits, I'm certainly going to share results like I share with HYROX. I think we're going to start getting more and more athletes. There's real money with the World Championships. I mean, and yeah, as we've said 100 times on here, we just need someone to kind of take the ball and run with it. And nobody's been able to do that. And if somebody dropped a big check on me and I could hire some staff, I would be like, yep, give me Deadly. I want to make it a thing.
So not Xenon.
Yeah, no muscle ups in Deadly doesn't.
I'm bummed. And there's 2 more in Mexico. Like they have some in North America, but not a ton in America. But yeah, if you're listening to this and you're in any other country, I mean, Malta, Italy, Germany, like the people in those countries are like, yep, let me put this thing on.
Have you done any Deadly Dozen anything, Cheryl?
No, I was planning on it this summer. I was assuming there was going to be one in Chicago. I thought I'll go and, I'll go to Stockholm. I'll get Stockholm done, and that'll be kind of my summer thing, right? Like I'll try something new. I was shocked, and I don't even know when the San Antonio date is. And so
it is May 23rd. It's in 2 months.
Yeah, see, and that's not going to work because I'm going to be Stockholm right there.
That was supposed to be like a U.S. champs, and I think it's not even going to be that anymore. Or maybe it is. I should find out.
You could be the U.S. champ. Like, go for it, right? Like, I feel like Jason has clearly handled this really well everywhere else. Like it's grown just how it's needed to. Like he's getting it exactly. Like now that there's the world champs and stuff, I mean, clearly it's going great. I'm just not really sure what it is about the U.S. that can't seem to get races. We just got done asking about ATHX dates, right? Yeah. No ATHX dates. And now no Deadly Dozen dates except for the one. It's baffling to me.
I think for Deadly Dozen, it's just the cost of tracks is so much more here. Or is it, like I know in Canada, and I've heard in the States, like just the cost of acquiring a track and getting set up is so much more difficult than it seems to be overseas.
And they couldn't just add to our ticket price,
Dave, I know that we talked about you not knowing why I would like one picture over another, but you know why I chose this picture?
No idea.
Look at that. Look at that judge.
He's pretty cranky looking.
He just looks like a cranky German judge. I think it's amazing. Am I the only person that noticed that? I use that for a reason. That is it. That I tried to get pictures from each country. I didn't just want to put random. And that is a German event. And I think he looks like a angry German judge. Shout out that guy. But look at all those events. Look at all those fucking events.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
That's like more DECA fits than we have.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. No, great. I mean, I hope people are enjoying it.
Yep. No, it'll be fun to see how the season develops.
And don't send videos of bad judging from there.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well, we will know.
Definitely send me bad judging on there for sure. I'm not sick of those yet. I'm not at peak DECA videos yet. Yeah. I have a note that I can't remember. Do you remember? Cheryl. It says somebody messaged, and I don't want to say the name, because if I can't find it. But don't say the name.
You know what? You have had some notes on here for weeks that I have not wanted to remove because they're your notes.
Right.
So they may be just lost to the ages.
Well,
I think we've had a very good conversation today.
I think we have to. No, we can wrap it up. I think this person said something really nice, and I don't want to say their name because I can't find it. And I'll find it probably after we hang up.
Thank you, person.
Thank you, person who said nice things. We always
thank you.
Always thank you, nice things. All right, we covered a lot, and yeah, that's it, I guess, for this week on the Not So Live show. Yeah,
well done, fellas.
We out. Take care.
Peace.